Are you sick and tired of being held back by the Nigerian economy? Do you think that high unemployment, rising prices, and high inflation are all being very tough on you? Our country, Nigeria, is currently facing one of the most challenging periods in its modern history. The cost of living has skyrocketed, with everyday essentials becoming increasingly expensive compared to average household incomes. The combination of rising cost of fuel, tightening financial conditions, and escalating debt crises has led to what experts are referring to as Nigeria's most disturbing cost of living crisis in recent memory. However, with that said, let us now try to put things into perspective. Despite these being very challenging times, they are not the worst situations Nigerians have managed. Previous generations have navigated through even more difficult hardships with fewer safety nets than we have now. Most have endured financial struggles, health problems, emotional difficulties, political headwinds, economic calamities, and much worse. The big question is, how did they do it? How did they overcome their seemingly insurmountable obstacles and come out better off? How can we navigate our current overwhelming difficulties while still maintaining our values and humanity? Let's look at the 5 steps to overcoming challenges in the Nigerian economy today. These are insights from those who have overcome great difficulties and emerged stronger as a result. Step 1. Acceptance. How often do we get caught up in the notion that everything has to go our way? That every little detail must be carried out exactly as planned? Let's face it, life can be pretty unpredictable. One day you're cruising along, happy as can be, and before you know it, you're blindsided by a curveball you never saw coming. But here's the thing. By accepting those challenges and learning to navigate them, we become more resilient and better equipped to handle whatever else life has in store. It's through our struggles that we grow and ultimately become better versions of ourselves. We cannot control what happens to us, but we have full control over how we respond to what happens to us. Accepting these challenges doesn't mean you are fine with bad things happening to you. It just means you welcome the challenges as part of your growth. Learning to accept our challenges may sound counterintuitive. However, it's in those moments of turbulence that we have the greatest opportunity to grow and evolve. Each obstacle we overcome is a building block for the person we'll become tomorrow. Accept and embrace the difficulties you face, learn from them, and watch them transform you into a stronger and more capable version of yourself. Nothing is more beautiful than accepting our struggles as part of life and using them to our advantage. Step 2. Stop complaining. We've all been guilty of complaining about something at one point or another. However, some of us endlessly complain about everything, from the weather, to our jobs, and to our relationships. But have you ever given any thought to the benefits of complaining? Complaining is absolutely pointless. It's a toxic habit that adds no value to whatever you are going through or feeling. Complaining does not help you in any way. Rather, it takes away your strength and the ability to persevere when things get tough. So the next time you feel like complaining, think about the toll it's taking on your mental health and on your relationships with other people. No one likes a complainer. Not even your parents, lover, siblings, or even children. They may listen to you out of respect, but they quickly get tired and find ways to avoid you. Of course, life can be tough, and sometimes it feels like the world is conspiring against us. Still, it's worth re-emphasizing that complaining won't solve anything. It may give you temporary relief, but that's where it ends. However, by refusing to complain and treating each situation as if it is in your best interest, it will be easier to overcome obstacles and keep a healthy mindset. Regardless of how terrible your life is, maintaining a positive attitude in the face of adversity is far more rewarding than complaining and defeating yourself. This may seem counterintuitive, but once we learn to shift our focus from what's going wrong to what's going right, we'll find that problems becomes infinitely easier to handle. So let's put down the complaints and pick up a positive outlook, and your future self will thank you. Step 3. Our perspectives, in other words, the way we see things. Life can sometimes be stressful, exhausting, and very unpleasant. From time to time, we will face challenges that test us to our limits, and quite often, it can feel like a never-ending roller coaster ride, with one difficulty after another. However, whether we realize it or not, our perception of these challenges can impact how we feel and respond to them. The way we see things can mean the difference between despair and hope, fear and courage, and powerlessness and strength. Regardless of what you are facing, do you see it as a challenge or an opportunity? Do you consider it as an adversity or an advantage? Our perception about a situation can be just as damning as the situation itself. In other words, the way we see the problem is the problem. Challenges can often be opportunities in disguise. If we learn to see the silver lining in every problem we face, we can transform negative situations into something positive. By shifting our focus to the positive aspects of the situation, we can turn any challenge into an opportunity for growth. Every failure is a valuable lesson that brings us one step closer to our goals. If we embrace every problem that comes our way, we can use it as a chance to grow and become better people. So the next time you are faced with a challenge, try to see it in a positive light. The only thing worse than a problem is viewing it as a catastrophe. Step 4. Controlling your emotions. Let's be realistic. Problems have a way of stirring up some pretty intense emotions. It's like they have the power to flip a switch inside us, and suddenly we're flooded with all kinds of feelings. But here's the thing. While it's totally normal to have emotions in response to tough situations, it's not always helpful to let those emotions take the driver's seat. I'm not saying you have to become some kind of emotionless robot. That will not be healthy or realistic. However, it's important to maintain control over our emotions so that we can focus our energy on solving problems and making progress. Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to make good choices when you're not drowning in a sea of emotions? It's like everything becomes clearer, and you suddenly have this superpower that allows you to tackle problems head-on without getting bogged down by fear, anger, or sadness. It's like putting on a superhero cape and being able to tackle any obstacle with ease. Emotions are difficult to navigate and very difficult to master. Sometimes, they can inspire us to great heights, but they can also be our downfall. That's why learning to control them is such an important skill to cultivate. When we're able to keep our feelings in check, we become stronger, more focused, and more effective problem solvers. It's very easy to get caught up in the moment when life throws us a curveball, but by taking a step back and assessing the situation logically, we're often able to find the best way forward. So the next time you feel your emotions getting the best of you, take a deep breath, stay calm, and see how much easier it is to handle whatever comes your way. Controlling your emotions is a superpower that anyone can wield if they're willing to practice it. Step 5. Finding your way. Tackling your current economic challenges may feel like a daunting task, but there's always a way, and it's your duty to find yours. Finding your way is not an easy task. It requires a unique set of skills, including creative thinking, flexibility, determination, and a high tolerance for disappointment and hardship. It's really going to be hard, and it will take a lot out of you. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and times when it feels like nothing is working. Your first attempts will fail, and that's not a bad thing. It just means that you're figuring out what doesn't work so you can focus on finding what works. Think of failure as a teacher. It's always there to guide us and to show us the way. When setbacks inevitably come, it's all right to feel discouraged, but it's never okay to give up. Giving up means forfeiting the opportunity to learn from your mistakes and get better. A comeback is always greater than the setback. So keep on moving, even if it feels like you're crawling. There is always a weak spot somewhere, and you have to find it or make one. This is where persistence plays a major role, knowing that you want to give up, but having the courage to take one more step and inch closer to finding your way. Everything may seem daunting at first, but you must keep chiseling away at the problem, little by little, piece by piece, trying different approaches and refusing to give up until you find what you are looking for. There are a lot of ways to get from point A to point B. It does not have to be a straight line as long as it gets you where you need to go. While certain strategies have been proven effective, every individual is different. What may work for one person may not be the best fit for someone else. When it comes to success, there is no magical recipe or definitive roadmap. It's all about finding your way, a unique path that caters to your personality and strengths. Whether this requires exploring uncharted territory, embracing unconventional methods, or trying out a less popular approach, the goal is to find a way that's uniquely yours, which ultimately leads you to success. The journey of life oftentimes feels like a winding road with no end in sight. We may start off with a map and a clear destination, but sometimes that map leads us down paths that are not meant for us. So we must be adaptive and adjust to every situation presented to us. Just like a chameleon changes colors to blend in with its surroundings, we need to flex and transform ourselves to meet the needs of our environment. And while we adapt, we have to maintain a pragmatic outlook, focusing on our progress rather than getting bogged down by the process. You will be surprised at the results when you combine adaptability with pragmatism. There is no single formula that works in every situation, so we have to find the recipe that works best for us and our circumstances. And ultimately, once you've found your way, the possibilities for what you can achieve are endless. The thrill of playing to your strengths and adapting to situations in a way that's uniquely yours is unbeatable. This sort of self-awareness and confidence is truly special and can only come from discovering your path in life. So don't give up on finding your way. It may take some time and effort, but the reward at the end will make it all worth
it. Thanks for joining us today. Do you agree or disagree with what has just been said? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed our content, please tip us with a like, hit that bell icon to stay updated, and don't forget to subscribe.